After we copy a course or once we start creating the different weeks, one thing to pay attention to is when we are creating a new page, students don't have access to the newly created pages. So we will have to click on each of those pages one by one and making sure that the access is given to the students. Now, as we are adding the different features to the pages also, and I only want this page to be visible, but I don't want the students to be able to edit the pages. So that's as much access that I give. Now, if I have different features in this page, or if I add them later, which I can do that by going to the option. Let's say for week one, I want to add a discussion forum. So I can go to add a new feature to this page and click on forums. And the forum is added to the page. I can change that to um, the name to discuss week one discussion. And I can change that to weekly outcomes and tasks. Now, if I go back to the page, while I have created the discussion forum, this discussion is not linked to the gradebook or coursework. It's also not available to students because I created this after I gave access to the students to this week. So I should go back to the gear and click on access and click on the students and then click on add, and the students can add a post. Sometimes you can decide if you want to give the students option of editing and deleting their own posts or not. I tend not to give that option because sometimes unintentionally students may delete a post. And then I also give the option of that they can reply to a post, so they can reply to their classmates. So whenever we are adding a feature to a page after we have given permission to students to view, we have to make sure that we go in and give permission. Now we can also do that from that specific feature. So if instead of going from the week one page, I can go to access and give that option from here. um, it doesn't matter how we do that, but that's very important to know that any new week that we have created is not going to be available to students to see. And the best practice is to change your view to student view every time that you're creating new page, um, and make sure that students are seeing what you want them to see. Now, sometimes I have had the question asked that, can I have week two released by a certain day? Unfortunately, from what I know so far, right now, My.Wartburg doesn't have the option of giving access after a certain day. We have to do that manually. Now, we can though keep that invisible. Let's say week two, we can keep that invisible and we can have certain dates that we tell the students. So for example, for my 6-week course, I always tell the students that um, other than week one, every other week is going to be released on the Friday before the next week starts. So they would know that week two is going to be released this Friday, or week three will be released next Friday. So having a schedule that students are aware of is very important. But if you are releasing them week by week, also, if you're copying course content from a different course that already have given access to students, this is one way to go. You can either go and change the access from here, on every page that you don't want the students to be able to visit, or you can go to the course manager and go to the um, permissions and remove the access from there. So you can change that to no access if you have already given access. You have to make sure that you're in the student row, and you will see which weeks or pages the students have access and which ones they don't. And you can change that from here. This way you don't have to go to every week individually.